Hello, everyone, and welcome into today's episode of the Fumble Sports Daily Show. It is so wonderful to have you with us on this Wednesday.
Hello, everyone,
so much to get into.
Going on this week. We'll touch on that in a little bit. Baseball has already started. We gave out our picks earlier in the day. If you went to our website, buttfumblesports.com, you were able to find all of our picks that we gave out right away. So if you're watching right now and you want to check out our picks, you can go over to buttfumblesports.com, check them out right now. That said, we are here for the next hour to do research for you. Our NASCAR expert will join us at 5:30 to give us a Watkins Glen preview for this weekend. But other than that, the rest of the show is committed to your questions, helping you out with your sports betting research, your fantasy research, everything you guys need to cash in on this Wednesday of baseball. Hope you guys are with us every single day because Fumble Sports is live across TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. Appreciate all those who join us, those loyal viewers. Hope you're one of them. Make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you're a member of this amazing Sports Fumble community because we just talk sports every single day here at Fumble Sports. So, hope you're having a great Wednesday. If you have questions, throw them in the comments section. We're certainly going to give out picks over the course of the next hour. Quickly reviewing at how we did yesterday, just shooting on down, 41-33 overall, 17-8 on the game picks, 24-22 on the MLB props. We had a bad day on the MLB props, and WNBA didn't go our way either. Stealing and sharing picks went okay. Long ball, long shots of the day, not that great. So overall, kind of a mixed bag, not the percentage we usually want. But we clear out the results from yesterday. No WNBA game today, so nothing on that front to talk about. It's all MLB today. We are going to rant about the Jets a little bit, though. We're going to talk about what's going on in the NFL. So if you've come to talk some NFL additionally, we're going to be here for that. And, of course, again, help you guys out with all of your sports betting research, your fantasy sports research, your DFS research, everything you guys need to have a great Wednesday with your sports content. Clearing out our results from yesterday and getting us started for today. This is Wednesday's picks. Dante, appreciate seeing you. Love seeing you in the comments section every single day. RJ, shout out to you as well. Hope you're having a great day. Those who are watching, you also now have the Discord. Thanks to our producer who set that up behind the scenes, helping that Discord grow, letting other people know about it. So really appreciate that. If you guys want to get more information about what Fumble Sports puts out every day, when we're live, everything else, you can go check out our Discord channel. And, of course, we're going to give out our picks, share our picks. They're already up on our website, but we're still going to ask, share the channel if you can. We really appreciate when you do. Chris, what's up? Hope you're having a great day. Bill's Mafia. Vanilla Sports, great viewer. Love Vanilla Sports. Keep doing your videos, Vanilla Sports. We love seeing you put your own content out there. We are all about content creators who love talking sports, pursuing that. Vanilla Sports asks, is Mark Andrews down year incoming with more targets to compete with? That's a great question, Vanilla Sports, and the answer is yes. I think his production actually may go up in some. It's going to be strange. Overall numbers, his targets will go down. I think his yards and his touchdowns may actually increase from last year because my expectation is, one, Zay Flowers is going to be good, and the word's kind of out on Zay Flowers. Everyone now expects him to be good, so I think defenses from week one are going to start building double coverage, other kind of defenses to cover Zay Flowers, and maybe Odell Beckham Jr. a little bit over the top, which is just going to help Mark Andrews. His targets will go down. His overall numbers, I actually think, will go up, Vanilla Sports. Appreciate all of you guys being with us every single day. I can already see so many of those familiar handles here on TikTok Live, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. You guys are amazing, and we really appreciate the support you guys show us. Make sure you share the channel. hit that share button and let everyone know across whatever platform you're watching that Butt Fumble Sports is live, because that's how we grow, through sports fans just like you, letting your friend, your family, your coworker, that person in your fantasy league know that, hey, this guy likes to talk sports and there's a great place that you can learn a lot. Now, let's give out some picks to say thank you to you guys for being here. Again, these are up on our website because I wanted to give those away right away today. Some have cashed, some have missed. That's how it is in sports betting. But we get back to work. I'm going to give out these plays just so you're aware of them. These are all for the 6 or later games, the games that haven't started and won't during the course of our show. I like the Astros on the money line today. Justin Verlander on the mound. You got to feel pretty good about that one. I decided not to go first 5 innings on that, but I do like the Astros on the money line. Also, and this was kind of an interesting topic because we put out some content last night and there was some talk in the comments section. I actually like the Reds today. I really like the Reds on the money line. I like the Reds first 5 on the money line. I like the Guardians and Reds run the first inning, and I like the Guardians, and I like the Reds, and I like them over 8.5. So, just some picks for you guys to have out there. Shay, great to see you. Mookie Betts, love that play. Love him over half a hit if you can get it somewhere. I would expect it to not be available, but Braves on the money line, strong play as well. Jorge, which is better? Ellie De La Cruz, 1.5 bases or over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs? Personally, I like the bases more. I think he's going to hit a home run today. He is someone that I have on my board as someone who's going to go deep tonight. By the way, if you did check out our picks on our website, buttfumblesports.com, we're actually 1 for 1 so far. I know Tommy Pham's, still playing, so we'll see if he cashes. But we gave out Riley Green earlier on our website, buttfumblesports.com, and he did cash. So we're 1 for 1 so far. Ellie De La Cruz is someone that I like to go deep tonight. So I actually think both are going to end up cashing, Jorge. The reason I would say probably total bases more so is because I think that the chance that he gets a double is probably greater than the chance that he scores. Do you guys want to go back to Celebrity Shot Contest? Did you miss that? Now that we've given out some of our picks, now that we've given out our picks on the website, frees us up a little bit. If you guys want to do Celebrity Shot picks, I'm willing to bring those back. I enjoy doing those as well. So if you guys want to do those, I'm more than happy to get back into that. That said, if you guys don't want to do it and just want to do research, we can absolutely do that as well. Diego, Verlander under on strikeouts. Let's go over to Outlier and let's go check that one out because that's an interesting idea of taking Verlander under on the strikeouts depending on how high the sports books have set it. Over 5.5, 50% implied probability. Under 5.5, 54%. This is a tricky one. This is a very tricky one. If I could raise it, I would. The fact that I can't, I don't feel great about that line. That 5.5, and you can see why on the screen. It's just been an inconsistent trend, in part because I actually think in returning to the Astros, I think there's a comfort level there. I think the Astros, like some organizations, get the best out of the pitchers that they have when they have them, whether it's the analytics, spin rate, whatever it may be. So I'm just a little hesitant to take this play. Diego, I kind of talk you off the ledge of that one if I could. By the way, RJ just hit me up and said, by the way, that guy who named his newborn daughter after Mookie Betts is such a good dude. Gives back to the community. Is he really a good guy? I'm thrilled to hear that because I heard that story, and I have to admit, I was a little worried when I heard that story about Mookie Betts. As somebody's naming his child's middle name after Mookie Betts, it could set a very dangerous precedent if you start, betting your child's name. Boy Named Sue by Johnny Cash would come to mind, but in much worse ways. So Mookie as a middle name isn't bad. I have a friend who named his cat Mookie, but He's from Boston. He's a Sox fan, so there was a reason for it at the time. Aaron, you're asking about Ian Happ. Let's go check out Ian Happ. Elliot Robinson, great to see you. Do you have any first 5 money line plays? Yes, we do. We'll talk about those in just one second. I want to jump over to Ian Happ. One thing I definitely want to note, the Cubs are one of several teams that are facing a starting pitcher that are very bad against stolen bases. The starting pitcher just gives up a ton. Keep your eye on Ian Happ, Nico Horner, Cody Bellinger as 3 Cubs who could get stolen bases tonight. They're absolutely players that I would have my eye on if I were you. Looking at Ian Happ, though, just to get a hit, over half a hit is 68% implied probability. It's going off at minus 210 on BetMGM, minus 215 on DraftKings. We always encourage you guys, don't be loyal to one sportsbook. They're not going to be loyal to you. Find the best deal you possibly can where you can. Just looking at Ian Happ, I wasn't really impressed by him when I looked at his stats earlier. Wasn't someone who had my eye. 240 average, not great. Against right-handed pitching, 248. That should be higher. The 11 home runs is nice, but you can just tell that number's gotten a little bit out of control. And 23.4 strikeout percentage, not a great number. You'd want more contact from him. Feel like he's tried to become more of a power hitter than personally I'd like him to be. Mike Clevinger, he does have 1 hit in 3 at-bats. If you wanted to take him on over half a hit, that's what I would encourage, but I wouldn't go much farther than that. If you wanted to take the 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, maybe it's something to consider, but personally, not inspired enough to do it. Mike Cash, don't feel confident in it. Ian Happ, over half a hit, put it as a leg of a parlay. Certainly think that's a decent play. By the way, Jorge, love Jose Altuve tonight. Jose Altuve is someone that I put into my DFS lineup for today. Think he's absolutely someone to keep your eye on. Another one who's actually up on the screen right now. I know it's for under 1.5 bases, but Mauricio Dubon has good numbers against the starting pitcher he'll be facing. Panda with wings. I'm excited for more preseason football tonight. Boy, you and me both. It's amazing. I say to myself, oh, preseason doesn't matter. I don't care. I still don't bet on it. But boy, do I watch a lot of it. I can't wait for tomorrow night for there to be football. Now, I am a football junkie. I love to evaluate players. I love to try to do the scouting. I certainly like to find who's going to be the kind of 50th man on the roster of 53 who's going to end up playing a significant role over either this season or coming seasons. I always like being that guy in my friend's ear being like, hey, keep your eye on that third string defensive tackle. He's going to be a good player. And then all of a sudden he makes a burst. So I have a lot to look forward to in these preseason games. But I would encourage you guys, don't put your money on preseason games. Hold on to your capital. Just wait a few more weeks. We're almost to real regular season football. And then we can start betting with real good units. Because if you save your capital now, I think it does pay off. I'm all for betting baseball, but preseason football, I wouldn't encourage it. Asking about Stephen Kwan. Let's go look at him. Stephen Kwan, you're asking about hits, runs, RBIs. 59% implied probability. Really good trend of late, but I'm curious. Andrew Abbott, no stats against him. How has he done against left-handed pitching this year? 270 average, which for him is actually a tick down. Obviously, it's the lefty-lefty matchup with Kwan. I like it because I think there's going to be offense in that game. Do I think Stephen Kwan's going to be in the middle of it? Possibly. I think there are other players to take in that game. the Cincinnati Reds. I like as many players in the Cincinnati Reds as you can take in that game. I genuinely could see the Reds putting up 9 runs on their own, 6 to 9 runs, and then I think that you're going to get 5 runs from the Guardians. So I could see Kwan right in the middle of that, but I think there are other players I probably like more. Do I do NFL player bet evaluations? Of course we do. We look at NFL player props, game plays. We look at season-long bets. So, Shay, if you want to bring up some of the players that you are looking at for a future play, a total play over the course of the season, we actually have a partnership with SportsSavvy.com. If you guys follow us on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, you've probably seen some of the content that we've made over the last few days. They've now been a brand sponsor for some of the content that we make, and we did a underdog article for them. So if you want to go check out that underdog article, go to sportssavvy.com. In fact, I actually put that as a story in our Instagram. So if you want to check out, I looked at 5 quarterbacks over under on some totals that they have, or in this case, higher or lower because it's underdog. If you want to go check those out, you can go to sportssavvy.com. The way to reach that, go to our Instagram story. There should be a link in that story. Josh Bell, best pickup of the trade deadline. No, I don't think he's the best pickup, but I thought he was a brilliant pickup. And nobody's talking about the front office of the Miami Marlins, who is led by a woman. And I love the fact that no one's talking about it. I actually love the fact that no one's talking about it. The Miami Marlins have built a really good team. After everything they went through for years, bad ownership that still remains, the Derek Jeter years, so much of what Marlins fans have gone through. Now, I will say this. When the Marlins are good, they win championships. That's one of the reasons I actually love the Marlins as a franchise. Because when they suck, they're bad for years. They are the laughingstock of the National League. But when they win, they actually reach the mountaintop. They're not like the Seattle Mariners. They are literally not the Buffalo Bills. When they get there, they win. So there is something I love about this Marlins team that they're building. They have good young pitching. They are putting the pieces together between Soler, Arise, Josh Bell. They need a few more prospects to figure out the pieces, but I definitely love what I'm seeing from the Miami Marlins this year and what they're building for the future. Baltimore, Kansas City, Miami. Look at those 3 organizations in baseball and track them over the next 5 years. If I could, I'd buy stock in them right now. Shout out, by the way, to IP Shade 45. If there's loyalty, IP Shade 45 is the definition of it. Follows us now on Discord, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, Kick, all the platforms. Hope you guys are doing the same. If you watch us on one platform, make sure you watch on all of them, because if you love our content, we want to make sure you get access to it in every single possible way. John, Phillies, what you think? Okay, let's talk about the Phillies really quickly. Talking about that game today. I like the Phillies to cover in that game. So I know it's Aaron Nola against Kevin Gausman. I like the Phillies to cover in that game. Do I like the Blue Jays to win? Probably. I'm probably on a Blue Jays money line play, Phillies to cover. But personally, I think that's where I'd split it. Yep, that's what I have on our website, buttfumblesports.com. I put that out earlier this afternoon. I'm going to stick with that. I think there's going to be some offense in that game, though. I think especially in the first run, I do think there's a run that scores. Jog the Blogger, welcome to the party. Appreciate all those who are joining Discord right now, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. Butt Fumble Sports is growing like crazy because of the support you guys show us. Victor, Dodgers with 10 in a row. Yeah, I do like the Dodgers to win tonight. I do like the Dodgers now. That said, tomorrow I feel a little bit differently. Money gun time. Money gun. Thanks, Panda. Thanks, Panda with Wings. Way to go. Appreciate that. We've hit our live goal because Panda with Wings is awesome. Just had that money gun hit. Victor, do like the Dodgers tonight. Don't like them tomorrow. Don't like them tomorrow. So interestingly enough, I would take them today. I would fade them tomorrow. Corbin Burns on the mound for the Brewers tomorrow. Lance Lynn on the mound tomorrow. I was just looking at that game. Tonight, no, I like Clayton Kershaw coming back. I know it's Wade Miley. He can have a good game. But I mentioned it earlier, Mookie Betts. We love Mookie Betts tonight. Mookie Betts on over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. RJ Renfroe, great call by you, and you're doing your research. Whether you're going to buttfumblesports.com or not, we put up the hitters that have good numbers against the starting pitchers they'll be facing. Oftentimes you'll see our bets are related to the trends that we identify from historical matchups. And RJ, you bring up a great point. Christian Yelich, good numbers against Clayton Kershaw. Mark Canha, good numbers against Clayton Kershaw. For Mark Canha, I would go for over 1/2 a hit. Let's go check that out right now. Using our tool Outlier, we're going to look at Mark Canha. Is he in this lineup? By the way, not seeing it. Let's look at Christian Yelich. Mark Canha might not be in the lineup. Yeah, he's not in the lineup today. So, funny enough, I'm always interested when a manager sits a player who has good numbers historically against a pitcher. It's always funny for me to think that you're going to sit that guy. I joked with someone the other day, maybe it was with you guys. I joked that I don't think there's anyone who does that more than Aaron Boone, which is a sign that person should be fired. But Christian Yelich, over half a hit. Big alert, everybody. Look at the green on the screen. He's got a good hitting streak going. We talked about he's got good numbers lifetime against Kershaw. And you could get this at minus 210 on FanDuel. That is a good play. So if you guys were looking at Christian Yelich, I like that idea, RJ. Good call by you. RJ also talked about Mookie, Freeman, and Will Smith. Will Smith isn't someone that I necessarily put too much on. I took over half a hit. Mookie and Freeman, I went over 1.5 base. Over 1.5 bases, rather. I think Mookie Betts gets at least a double. I think Freeman could go get 2 hits, if not a double himself. So I like both of those players tonight to get extra base hits or multiple hits. Those are 2 players I like. Jorge, I like the Astros. I like the Red Sox tonight as well. I like the Rangers tonight as well. Elliott went 2-0 today, looking for more confident plays. Let's go, Elliott. Hope you're having a great day. Appreciate the support. Elliott hits us up. Elliott is such a loyal viewer. Appreciate you. Appreciate Jorge. Panda with Wings as well. Panda with Wings just shared the channel. Appreciate you doing that. And Panda with Wings, yes, Red Sox on the money line tonight. Definitely like that one. James Paxton on the mound in that game. No reason to question it. But let's look at James Paxton's strikeout numbers. I know a few of you guys were curious about that. We'll get to our reverse engineering in a little bit later in the show. But let's look at strikeout numbers for James Paxton. It's set at 5.5. The over does have the stronger implied probability on this one. Minus 128 on FanDuel. This is one you might want to fold into a parlay. Not big. Maybe 3 legs, maybe 4 legs, but James Paxton over 5.5 strikeouts. I actually tend to lean towards the over on this one as well. Let's look at it on the road versus at home. Hit or miss. Okay, maybe not so much. I thought this was going to be a better trend on the road. I know at Fenway he's had some good starts and some bad. How about the Nationals lineup against left-handed pitching? Don't know who's calling, but it ain't for me. Because we're talking sports right now. Ruiz, someone to keep your eye on tonight with that 306 average. Interesting that Lane Thomas, great numbers against left-handed pitching. He's been slumping a little bit of late. You might want to put your money down on Lane Thomas for just over half a hit. Nothing too wild there. But I do like the opportunity to get James Paxton on the 5.5 strikeouts. I actually do think he has a good start today. Also, one of the reasons I like that, and I should mention this because I do think it plays a factor, tomorrow, the Red Sox are starting Chris Sale. What does that mean? It means Alex Cora is going to want to save his bullpen a little bit more today. He's going to want to have some relievers because Chris Sale, I don't think they're going to stretch him out maybe to the 5th inning, but I think it's still going to be in that 4th inning range. He's going to be on the pitch count. So James Paxton, they're going to want to get length out of him. Think 6, maybe even 7 innings if they can out of Paxton. That just allows for more strikeouts, I think, overall. Verlander, over 6.5 strikeouts. B, we talked about that one. Not as crazy about that. I just don't feel as good about that one. The trends were kind of hit or miss. Didn't feel good about going with it, especially because I feel like there are strikeout candidates on the Marlins, but at the same time, they have some good contact hitters. So I just don't feel great about that one. I feel like there are better ones. Let's do some reverse engineering right now. Let's do reverse engineering for all you guys out there. You guys are asking about a lot of pitchers. So let's look at the over right now. We're going to have our NASCAR expert join us in about 5 minutes to give us a Watkins-Glenn preview. But before he comes on at about 5:30, we've got 5 minutes right now to give out our favorite player prop bets when it comes to walks allowed. Wade Miley, 8 out of the last 10 games. Let's put it on the board. Wade Miley, over 1.5 walks allowed. Next one that I would definitely jump on, Blake Snell, fun, interesting. It's set at 2.5, and this has been a very consistent ticket. Look at how much green is up on that screen when it comes to walks allowed. How about at home? 5 straight games. I know it's set at 2.5, and we would never But against the Baltimore Orioles, that's a good lineup. They see a lot of pitches. They're willing to take their walks. I actually think Blake Snell will get to 3 walks in this game. I don't normally like to take 2.5 walks. I do think that's a tough line usually to swallow. But at the same time, I think the sports books here, they can't compete with the trend that Blake Snell, he's in the game a lot. He throws a lot of pitches. He goes deep into counts. He gives up some walks. Dean Kremer, looking at him as well, he's been pretty consistent when it comes to walk plays on the road. 2 out of the last 3. Let's stretch that out. Much better if we look even farther. But 2 out of the last 4, it's been a bit of a miss. At minus 198, I don't need to take it. Just not attractive enough. But it's a very special day for those loyal viewers of the show. It's a Reed Walk Detmers Day. As those who watch the show, IP Shade 45 knows, Reed Walk Detmers is definitely someone we bet on almost every single, fifth man in the rotation opportunity. Look at all the green up on the screen when it comes to giving up walks on the road. 3 out of the last 4. You don't earn a nickname like Reed Walk Detmers without cashing a lot of tickets for us over the course of the season. So we're going to continue to ride this one. Reed Walk Detmers, you are on the big board. Continuing to look at these reverse engineering plays. Matthew Liberatore, always feel like I'm saying his name wrong, but 3 out of the last 4, this isn't hit, so I don't have to say it a second time. John Gray, 1.5. This has been a coin flip. Here, let me jump this up. By the way, Reed Walk Detmers has the highest implied probability. We did not have the highest implied probability put up here. We now do Dean Kremer, really high, but again, I just don't like the value. At minus 198, don't like the value. By the way, he's now become a leg of a parlay. If I could, I'd take it at any price. Andrew Abbott. Interesting about this one. This is more about the hitters in the Guardians lineup. They get a lot of walks. There's a part of me that likes this one. 3 straight games he's gone over at home. I'm going to take Andrew Abbott to go over his walks total, but I like him tonight. I'm not discouraging him as much as I am just thinking he's going to give up some walks. Mike Clevenger, yeah, this feels like a good one. I know it's not showing it, but on the road, bit better. I like it. Not going to put it up on my board, but wouldn't be surprised if that ends up cashing. Wade Miley, talked about him a moment ago. Randy Vasquez, no real data there. If you wanted to take it, I certainly could, just because he's facing the Atlanta Braves, and at this point, you know he's going to want to nibble around the fringes of the plate. He's not going to want to go straight on into that lineup. So if you wanted to take it, you could. Not going to, just not enough data behind it for me. Javier Assad, looking at the trends, how about at home? 4 straight games. That's another one that we're going to take. Over 1.5 walks allowed. So 5 walks allowed plays for those who like these reverse engineering plays. These usually cash at about a 65% clip for us. Justin Verlander, 57% on the road. Has been 3 straight games here. This might be a good one. I know we talked about the strikeouts. I was kind of on the fence with that. Walks might be the better play here. So taking Justin Verlander on walks allowed, that one I like. I like that one definitely more than I like the strikeouts play. I feel like that's a tough one to kind of go with. Charlie Morton, 2.5, too bad. Anytime you could get this at the 1.5, it is absolutely a ticket worth taking. Frankly, it's kind of been like Blake Snell, in which even the 2.5 has been a good play. At home, though, it's the Yankees. I can't trust the Yankees offense right now to be good enough. I can't believe I'm saying that. And that actually brings me to a quick moment. Just wanted to rant about that really quick. I'll throw up the picks in just a second, so you guys, in case you missed it. But just wanted to rant for a second. Is this the worst Yankees team of your lifetime? Think about it. No matter what age you are, no matter where you're coming from, no matter what part of the world you're in, this may be the worst Yankees team of your lifetime. And for that to be the case, heads must roll. A revolution must occur in the Bronx. Cashman needs to be gone. They are planning a game in which the New York Yankee fans are going to behave like the Oakland Athletics, where they are going to boycott their own general manager at a game. To think that that's what the Yankees organization has become. We know Aaron Boone is gone. Like, that's obvious. We know the Sean Casey hitting coach experiment was a disaster. But the Yankees are in such a miserable place with contracts, with how they've been unable to develop young talent. They don't have a farm system that anybody really wants to pick at and actually give talent in return. They're going to have to throw so much money at an Ohtani, and I don't think he's going to want to go there. The Yankees are a disaster, and this series against the Braves, I thought it was going to bring out memories of 1998 when those two teams met in a World Series, and you know what? It didn't. It didn't. It reminded me of how far the Yankees have fallen over the last decade. It also tells me that the Braves, they are in that kind of renaissance that they had in the 1990s. The 1990s, it was all built around their pitching staff, bringing in Maddox after they already had Glavine and Smoltz and Steve Avery around young talent, David Justice, Chipper Jones, Marquise Grissom, Fred McGriff, this Ryan Klecko. This was a really talented offense, really good Javi Lopez behind the plate, and they built around that for a decade of successful play. They've done the same thing, same blueprint. So impressed by the Braves. Those two organizations are going in opposite directions, and this series is just a reminder of how far one team has fallen and how far one team has gone since they once were great. Now, we're going to change subjects and go from baseball to the track, as we're going to get a Watkins Glen preview with our NASCAR expert who's fresh from pit row. NASCAR expert, how you doing today?
Doing real good, my friend. It's been a few weeks, but we'll get everyone caught up on what's happening in a pretty exciting last couple of weeks in the NASCAR world.
Yeah, take us through what are the latest news, notes, and what's really catching your eye from a storyline standpoint.
So over the last three races, we talk about the playoff cut line and new winners. Well, the last three races, we've had Chris Buescher, who won a race last year in the playoffs and potentially could have won a race this year. He won back-to-back races at Richmond and Michigan, which he was a plus 5,000 and a plus 4,500 to win those races. And I can guarantee you if there was odds on Chris Buescher winning back-to-back races in Vegas, it would have been astronomical. And then follow up last week at Indy Road Course. Chase Elliott needs to get in. We've talked about that many times. Michael McDowell. Michael McDowell has one career win back in the Daytona 500 years ago when Penske teammates crashed and he ended up taking the lead. Michael McDowell was in our top 10 selections last week because he's a really good road course racer and he's accrued the most points in this next-gen car over the last 2 years, but I had him in the top 10 not to win. I didn't think Michael McDowell and that front row motorsports team was ready to win, but they went out and kicked everyone's butt. I mean, it was a dominating performance by him. He held off all comers, Chase Elliott, Daniel Suarez, and went on to win. So this playoff cut line right now, with 2 races to go, is really, really interesting. And if we get another new winner at Watkins Glen, man, that Daytona night race is going to be for all the marbles.
I cannot wait for that Daytona night race because not just it has a lot on the line, but it's such a perfect setting. But we're not quite there yet. What should we know about Watkins Glen as a track as we get ready for this weekend?
So Watkins Glen is in upstate New York. It's probably, some people describe it as a super speedway of road courses. It's the fastest road course of anyone that we run. It's somewhat technical, but just really fast. You come through the S's really quick. The front stretch into turn 1 is really fast. And, you might say, okay, last week at the Indy Road Course, we had Michael McDowell, Chase Elliott, Daniel Suarez. These guys are really fast. Will that translate over? Yes and no. It'll translate over to the fact of these guys are really good road course racers. As I mentioned, Chase Elliott this year has been actually pretty good at road courses. He's finished 5th, 3rd, and 2nd at 3 other road courses this year. And yeah, it'll translate over. But as far as the setup and the handling of it, it's much different. Like I mentioned, Watkins Glen is really fast, and there's elevation changes there. Whereas the Indy Road Course is very flat, very smooth, and, so some setup stuff will not translate over. So you got to kind of be careful. You can't just pluck the guys from last week and drop them into this week and think that you're going to be in good shape.
Who do you have as a standout driver this week that you put some, I don't want to say money on, but you put your confidence level pretty high on them having a successful week?
Well, I think if you take a look at Kyle Larson is probably a layup for a top 10. I'm sure it's going to come at pretty high odds, but he's won the last 2 races here, and he's always running up front at Watkins Glen. So that's a driver to take a look at that I necessarily wouldn't put a whole lot on it just because the odds are probably not going to be there, but Kyle Larson definitely, I'm sure, will be running inside the top 10, if not top 5 all day.
You just heard it here. Our NASCAR expert has been fantastic this season. I know he's a very modest and humble person, but if you've been following our NASCAR picks that we put out on our website, buttfumblesports.com, we also put out videos for who we think are going to finish in the top 10, who we think could win the race. Those have been incredibly successful, so I want to encourage you guys. Make sure you follow us, hit that follow button, make sure you subscribe, make sure you go to our website, buttfumblesports.com. Now, changing gears from someone we think is going to have a successful race to someone who may finish at the back of the pack, who are a few drivers that you would stay away from at Watkins Glen?
Well, some guys that are kind of hovering around the cut line right now that are just trying to survive Watkins Glen. And Bubba Wallace is one of those guys. He's not really been a great road course guy. He's gotten better over the years, but Watkins Glen is a really, really tough track to get a hold of. So Bubba is sitting right now in the 16th spot in the playoffs, plus 28 to the cut line. But I'd be very careful with him this week. He's just probably going to try to get stage points, maybe go off strategy and try to get as many points as he can heading to Daytona. And one guy I would maybe, Daniel Suarez was really fast last week, and he's hovering around the cut line. He's minus 28 and 17th right now, and I know he ran really well last week, and he's been somewhat quick at the road courses this year, but I just, I think that when you have a run like you did last week and you had a problem in the pits that kind of put him back, that he's going to have more pressure on himself because going to Watkins Glen is probably going to be his only shot. He's okay at super speedway racing, but you can't go to Daytona and think you're going to come out of there with a win because that is just, put all the numbers in a hat and just throw them on the floor and pick one when it comes to Daytona. So, Suarez had a really good run last week, but I would be really careful with him coming back to the Glen this week as there's a lot of pressure on the 99 team.
We're going to get back to talking some baseball, some fantasy football, because I know a lot of people are joining us to talk about that. But before we let you go, I know our NASCAR expert always wants to give a plug for the growth of auto racing. Please go right ahead.
Yeah, so we talk about it here all the time. A lot of these drivers in the Cup Series and all different forms of top level of motorsports, they come from the grassroots. And the grassroots are all the local tracks, whether it's a dirt track, an asphalt track, all around the country. There are, thousands of races that run almost every single night of the week, not even just the weekends. But I just encourage you to go out and support them. They're the ultimate small business owner, and they need to fill the stands to keep it going. And like I said, you can go there and you might see the next Chase Elliott. You might see the next Kyle Larson that come through the ranks because these are where these guys come from. And it's a family atmosphere. It's a lot cheaper than going out to Major League Baseball game or NFL these days. It's pretty reasonable to go. The concession stands are usually a local flair of wherever you're at. So I can almost guarantee you within 30 minutes of anywhere anyone listening here, there's a local short track that you can go and support and just learn about racing. If you're, kind of interested in it and you just want to maybe, dip your toe in the water, go to the local short track. You can figure out how a schedule runs, how they go from practice to qualifying to the race, what kind of rules there are, what color the flag. So there's a lot to be learned just by going and soaking in that atmosphere of our grassroots level of racing.
Something that I've definitely been exposed to. I went to Indiana University when I went to college, and when you go to Indiana, you get not just a BA in basketball, but you certainly get at least a minor in auto racing. And what was so great is I got to see it on a grassroots level, and I encourage all of you guys, it's like minor league baseball, but for auto racing. You can follow the drivers, you can follow the different styles as you go from one level to the next. And I certainly want to encourage it for all of those that aren't exposed to Formula One or NASCAR. Butt Fumble Sports is really committed to try to bring some of that knowledge to you guys and to the forefront because sometimes it gets forgotten. And I want to give a big shout out to our NASCAR expert for making this knowledge accessible. Make sure you keep track of his picks because they have been red hot. Brilliant job by you. Want to let you go now and let you get back under the hood of a car. But for now, I just want to say thank you for joining us, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Sounds good. Have a good rest of the show.
Appreciate him joining us. Appreciate you guys joining us no matter where you're coming from. Want to give a big shout out to IP Shade 45 for hooking us up with our live goal earlier. B, thanks for the lightning. Panda with wings, thanks for hooking us up with that money gun. We're having a lot of fun, and I promised you guys we would talk some fantasy football now. If you guys want more of our picks, you can go to our website, buttfumblesports.com. I put those picks up earlier in the day, so you guys would be able to see them. I'm more than happy to do research over the remainder of the show for you guys. Just let us know what you guys are focused on. IP Shade 45, Olave for Mixon? No, I certainly wouldn't. I love Olave this year. I liked him last year. And who was their quarterback last year? Andy Dalton. I love Chris Olave this year. I actually think he's one of the wide receivers right now who's getting the least talk, who could actually have as big a year as any receiver who's been drafted over the last few years. He is absolutely someone to target. Don't make big talk about it. He's actually someone that in some of the mock drafts, I actually haven't been picking him. I have been trying to play out those drafts to see who I would take, but Olave is someone like, keep your eye on him. There isn't a lot of good cornerback play in that division. Derek Carr, he is someone when he finds a favorite target, he feeds that guy. I love Chris Olave this year. I like Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas could be a steal. Chris Olave could be a fantasy football all-star this year. Yeah, by the way, IP Shade 45, you're absolutely right. Derek Carr suffers from Kirk Cousins syndrome, suffers from Daniel Jones syndrome, suffers from all these other players where it's like if Tom Brady threw Chris Olave the ball, just using that as an example, if any other quarterback, if a number of other quarterbacks, I think we would be giving more attention to it. But I think Chris Olave is absolutely someone to target. Do not trade him, especially for someone like Joe Mixon. I think Joe Mixon's role is going to change over the course of this year. I think the Bengals are going to continue to be aggressive offensively from a passing standpoint. Will they run the ball? Yes. But I think they know they need Mixon in the playoffs. I don't think between the regular season, let's say week 3 and week 13, he's necessarily someone that I really want to have. Drew, that is something I was looking for. How is Derek Carr going to look? Didn't want to take too much into that. What I do take away from what I'm hearing out of New Orleans Saints camp is that John Gruden has been working with him and the New Orleans Saints, and I think that's a positive because, frankly, once Sean Payton left New Orleans, there was no offensive guru who was there. I know they were kind of waiting on it, but I'm really happy with the fact that they did bring in Gruden, no matter what his baggage is, just to get Derek Carr back up to speed. Cowboys' record this year, I think they're going to end up being 11-6. I think they're going to have a decent year. I like the team overall. I think they could be a 10-7, but I think that division is such where I think they're ultimately going to end up being 11-6, tacos and coffee. I think Olave had 4 touchdowns last year. I expected that number to go up. By the way, he also had some concussions last year. He had some games that he missed or some games he literally got knocked out of. If he's able to sustain his health, I really like what we could see from him. Cardinals under win total. If I could fade the Cardinals in every possible way, I absolutely would. I think the Rams could be a win for them, like as in teams they could beat. We've gone through the schedule. We do a weekly show on Tuesdays where we talk it, but we're just talking fantasy, Drew. We're not going to do a mock draft today. Our producer has to leave immediately at 6 o'clock, so I wanted to make sure we were going to get off the air. No mock draft today. We will do a mock draft tomorrow, though, everybody. We will do a mock draft tomorrow, so if you guys do want to participate in the mock draft, we will do one tomorrow, probably at about 6 o'clock tomorrow, 6 o'clock. So 6 p.m. Eastern time. If you want to participate in that mock draft, just DM us on Instagram. Panda with Wings, I'm taking Arizona week 1. I'm not. I think that's one of the few games the Commanders are going to win early in the year. So actually, I think the Commanders are going to get that win. I know it's on the road, but actually, I like the fact that the season starts on the road for pretty much every team. You know, yeah, you have training camp, you have these other games, but I'm not too worried about week 1, the scheduling, the travel. I worry about that later in the year. I think the Washington Commanders are actually a better team than people are aware of. I was talking to somebody on our NFL show earlier this week, Mike Dobbs 94. He's a great analyst for us, Michael Dobbin. And one of the things that he talked about was Dotson. He's under the radar. Keep your eye on Dotson. Terry McLaurin is a really good wide receiver rather. They just don't have a quarterback. If Sam Howell is even half of a good quarterback, they have some talent on offense. They have some talent on defense. The Washington Commanders are not the kind of dog poop on your porch roster that you see in other places. I'm not going to say where, Arizona. But I certainly believe that the Washington Commanders have enough talent where I think they're going to get a week 1 win. Is Sam Howell going to be the starter? I think it should be Jacoby Brissett. I think it should be Jacoby Brissett. Who do I think they're going to go with? I think they're going to go with Sam Howell. I think you got to give him the opportunity to start the year. But personally, I think Jacoby Brissett is the better quarterback. And Jacoby Brissett is kind of in the he's not a similar player, but he has kind of a similar history as Gardner Minshew, which is every time he plays, he seems to play pretty well. He keeps his team competitive. He is not an embarrassment. However, he is also not considered a franchise quarterback. He is someone who's considered a plug-and-play guy, someone who can be in a transition year or who can make starts when someone gets hurt. But personally, I like Jacoby Brissett a lot. I thought that was a good draft pick for the Patriots. I thought it was a good move by the Colts to transition with him out of the Andrew Luck times. I think Washington would be better served to go with Jacoby Brissett. But personally, I think I expect they'll go with Sam Howell. I want to throw up our picks that we showed a little bit earlier. These are all up on our website, so if you just want to go to our website, buttfumblesports.com, you can find them there as well. But I'll also say Cardinals on the money line. The reason I'm putting them out, I will give out the confidence level because I know IP Shade 45 hooked us up with that live goal. So I'll put the picks up on the board. Then I'll give out my confidence level for each one. That way there's a bit of payoff for that. I will take the A's plus 1.5. I also like the A's plus 2.5. I saw that was available. I do like the Red Sox on the money line. I like the Red Sox first 5 on the money line. Again, James Paxton, Patrick Corbin. That's why. Blue Jays. I mentioned this one earlier. Blue Jays on the money line. I also like the Phillies, though, to cover. Plus 1.5. Aaron Nola on the mound. I do really like Vlad Guerrero Jr. in that game. By the way, I can get the Yankees plus 2.5. Now, I took it. I just took a giant dump on the Yankees about 10 minutes ago, but at the same time, Yankees plus 2.5. All right, I'll put a unit down on that. I'll do that. Jorge, you're asking about Ellie De La Cruz over 1.5 bases. Check. Jose Altuve, 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Check. And Gosman on a discounted 2.5 strikeouts. Ladies and gentlemen, Jorge, well done. That is a really good parlay. Let's see if it cashes. Rooting for you, Jorge. Let me continue to put some picks up on the board. Then I'll give my confidence level out about all of these picks. I know a lot of you guys are like, I can't believe you just took the Yankees plus 2.5. They've been so bad of late, and you just completely shat on them. Yeah, okay. But I still believe like the Yankees can be competitive enough when there isn't an amazing starter for the Braves on the mound. So I'm going to take it. I'll also take the over in this game. I think there's going to be a ton of offense scored. One player I do have my eye on is DJ LeMahieu. Keep your eye on him. Good numbers against Charlie Morton. On the other side, Aaron Judge, strikeout city tonight. Expect him to strike out at least once against Charlie Morton. Giancarlo Stanton, player that we like. Yankees, Braves, I would also take this. Yes to a run in the first inning. Continuing to put picks up on the board so I can give out confidence levels about all of them. White Sox, I can get that plus 2.5. Cha-ching. Rangers on the money line, yes. Rangers, I like the first 5 on the money line. Might want to play just one of those instead of both of them. Angels, Rangers, I like the over in this game. I think there's going to be some runs scored. So 7.5 I took, and over 8.5 I took. Keeping it going, probably not surprising that you see me doing this. Angels, Rangers, yes to run the first inning. If I think there's offense, I think there's going to be offense to start. Mariners, I'm taking them on the money line, continuing to just give out picks. Make sure you guys are sharing that channel. I really appreciate the support you guys show us. We'll get back to your questions in just a second. Want to give out the confidence level for all these, though. Continuing to go, Padres on the money line. I'll take the Orioles, and I'll take the Padres over 7.5. I do like the Dodgers on the money line. I know that's a chalky play. And I do like the Dodgers first 5 on the money line. And I like the Brewers and Dodgers to go over 7.5. So those are all of my picks for our game picks that are up on the screen. If you want all of our player prop bets, all of our game picks, home runs, stolen bases, they're all on our website, buttfumblesports.com. So if you want to go check those out, they're all on our website. However, I'm going to give out my confidence level for all of these picks right now. So this is my confidence level for all of these, okay? You guys ready to go on these? Ready, set, go. For the Astros game, I'd probably put my confidence level at about 60% on the money line, maybe as high as 65%. I really like Verlander, but the Marlins are a sneaky good team, especially at home, so I like the Astros, but I wouldn't put it as high as 70. Like I said, closer to 60, 65%. I love the Reds tonight. I'm going as high as 70% on the Reds, 65, 70% on the Reds. I like them early. I like them often. So I like the Reds tonight. I'm big on them. I go as high as 70% on the money line, 65% on first five. Yes to a run in the first inning. Probably one of my favorite plays. Would definitely take that. Noah Syndergaard. We are fading Noah Syndergaard. Noah Syndergaard isn't Thor. He's Thor out in Times Square, fat guy in a suit. He is not pitching well these days. High ERA, especially on the road. So Guardians and Reds love yes to a run in the first inning. I'd go as high as 75% on that. Guardians and Reds over 8.5. Love it. As high as 70% on that one. I could see the Reds getting you 6 runs on their own. It's just a question of if the Guardians score enough. I think they will. Cardinals on the money line. That one I'm kind of on the fence about, if I'm being honest. It really feels like a coin toss of a game. I tend to say, really, I like the A's to cover, but really I'm just covering my butt fumble by taking the Cardinals on the money line. So I think it's kind of a coin flip of a game, though. Red Sox on the money line, I really like. 65% probably for the Red Sox on the money line. First five, maybe a tick down, 60%, 65. I still like in that range, though. Blue Jays on the money line, definitely like that one. 65%, but the Phillies to cover, I'd go as high as 60% on that one. I feel pretty good about that being a 1-run difference in that one, competitive between 2 good starting pitchers. Home runs will be the difference. Which team hits more home runs? I think it'll ultimately be the Blue Jays, but I could see Bryce Harper going deep. I could see Vlad Guerrero going deep. I could see Nick Castellanos going deep. I could see Kyle Schwarber going deep. But really, of those Phillies, it'll probably be Schwarber, and for the Blue Jays, it's probably Guerrero Jr. Continuing to go, Yankees to cover the 2.5. My confidence level is only 55% on that because the Yankees suck. Let's be honest. And I'm not just saying that because I grew up in New England. Right now, the Yankees, they're just not that good, but the 2.5, that's too attractive a spread for me not to take it. 2.5 on the run line, sure, I'll do that. Yankees, Braves, over on the total. Love offense. Charlie Morton will give up some runs. Vasquez for the Yankees will give up some runs. I'm not concerned about that one. Definitely like taking the over. I took it in 2 spots because both of those are better than minus 200. Yankees, Braves, yes to a run the first inning. Definitely would do that one. Definitely think there's going to be offense. I could see both teams scoring in the first inning on that one. White Sox plus 2.5. Just the starting pitching matchup isn't that substantially different. 2.5 seems like a very advantageous spot. So with White Sox plus 2.5, I'd go as high as 60%, 65% on that one. Rangers on the money line. That one, I like that one a lot because I like John Gray. Reed Walk Detmers in that one. You guys know how I feel. So I take the Rangers early. I take them often. 65% probably for both money line and first 5 money line. As for an over, that one probably it's around 60% on 7.5, 55% on 8.5. I like runs in that game, but really I have a lot more faith in the Rangers doing the scoring. So we'll see if the Angels can put up enough runs on their side of things. Angels, Rangers, yes to a run the first inning. Part of the reason I love that one, Marcus Semien. Keep your eye on Marcus Semien today. He could have a really good game. I like the Mariners as well. Luis Castillo. He's not facing one of the better pitchers for the Royals, so I like Luis Castillo today. I think that's a comfortable win, not necessarily taking any run line plays. Padres on the money line. Blake Snell on the mound. We expect him to have a good start. I could see them also being a first 5 money line play as well, but I'll take the Padres overall on the money line. Orioles, I think they're going to score enough runs, so I like the over 7.5. Don't necessarily think it comes off Snell. Could come off against the Padres bullpen. Dodgers on the money line, like that one obviously, but it's a little chalky. So Dodgers first 5 money line is probably the better play. And then Dodgers, Brewers over 7.5. I just think there's enough runs scored. So that was our confidence level for all of those plays. Brewers, Dodgers, I would put at about a 65%. Dodgers first 5, I put at 65. Dodgers money line, I'd put it as high as 70%. Maybe 75. Orioles and Padres over the 7.5. I'd probably go as high as 60% on that one. Padres on the money line, I'd go as high as 65%. Mariners on the money line, I'd go as high as 70%. Jorge is asking about Marcell Ozuna. Let's look at Marcell Ozuna. If you guys have questions, we are here to help you guys out. We are not done helping you guys out with any of your questions. So Marcell Ozuna, looking on his hit total. Over half a hit, 70% implied probability. You could get it at minus 230 on FanDuel. Very good play. Certainly like it against the Yankees. I feel like over half a hit is absolutely a good one. Would I take it on hits, runs, RBIs? It's set at 1.5, and it's been a very good trend. So the answer is yes, I would. Really, that's as much about I'm fading the Yankees as anything else. Let us know if you guys have questions, comments, need help with your fantasy lineup. Whether it's fantasy football, fantasy baseball, DFS lineup, whatever you guys need help with, Butt Fumble Sports is here for you guys. So just ask your questions. We appreciate those who shared the channel today. No WNBA today, Drew. No WNBA. I don't think there are any games today. I think that's tomorrow. I like anime. Rate my team. QB is Burrow. Love that. I think he's going to be healthy, not worried about the calf. Running back McCaffrey. I like him. Obviously, my concern is, can he play a full season healthy? Probably not, so you're going to need some running back depth. Mixon, I like him, but again, what you heard from me earlier is I don't love him, not nearly as much as everybody else. Keenan Allen, good, injury prone. Waddle, I love. I think Waddle's going to have a monster year. Love that play. I think Jerry Jeudy could have a nice year. I'm still kind of feeling out what the Broncos offense and especially what their offensive line is going to be. Ravens defense, I think is going to be... Ravens defense is always a little bit better than people expect, but it's not going to be one of the top 5 defenses in the league. So overall, I would say your team right now is probably closer to like a B-, maybe a B. I love Burrow and McCaffrey and Waddle, but I really love those 3 players. Outside of that, maybe I'd give you a B. That's me being a bit generous. If I'm being a harder grader, I'm being a B-. But right now, it really depends on what your bench is. I like anime. You need to have good bench there. Arctic Tiger, 3-leg parlay. By the way, I do want to give a shout out to YA Tittle 24, who called that home run for Nolan Arenado. Great call by you, YA Tittle 24. Big shout out to you. We tailed on that, so we cashed. Well done. Arctic Tigers taking Austin Riley, Mookie Betts, and Freddie Freeman. Well, you know I like Betts and Freeman tonight. Can't disagree with Riley as well. Arctic Tiger, hope you cash. We're getting a comment in from Yoni. Yoni, hope you're having a great day. How do I feel about Aaron Jones? This is how I feel. I love him. I think between the 20s. I'm not sure about his touchdown production. I do think A.J. Dillon's going to take some of that. But really, I think he's going to transition in his career. He's not going to be as much of a ball carrier. I think he's going to truly be more of a receiver because I think Jordan Love's going to need it. I think he's going to need opportunities to dump the ball off. I still think he's going to be in the running game, but I think A.J. Dillon's carries are going to go up. I think Aaron Jones's carries will go down, but Aaron Jones's production will still be pretty good. I don't think he's a first-round running back. I don't think he's necessarily a second-round running back. To me, he's 3rd or 4th round. That's where he's been going in most of our mock drafts. Candyman, if you want to send your celebrity shot pick, just tweet us at SportsFumble on Twitter. If you guys want to continue to do your celebrity shots, just tweet us at SportsFumble on Twitter. Will Olsen have a home run tonight or an off night? Tough to say. I feel like he could hit a home run and still have a strikeout. I tend to say he's going to hit a home run. He's facing a right-handed pitcher. I like Olsen almost every night at this point. Did I have him in my home run picks for today? The answer is yes, I did actually. So if you go to our website, buttfumblesports.com, all of our picks are up on our website right now, buttfumblesports.com. So you can go check those out. Matt Olson is up there. Kyle Schwarber is up there. Vlad Guerrero Jr., as well as Ellie De La Cruz. Jorge Pacheco, Akers, Madison, pick one for a flex. If I had to pick over the course of a season, I would probably say I'd go with Pacheco just because I like that offense the most. But keep your eye on Akers. I'm not as sold on Madison as other people are. I think the Vikings are going to be really reliant on the passing game, and maybe that opens up the run. But Cam Akers, I know he got in a fight in camp today, but I think the Rams are going to run him into the ground. I think he's going to get a lot of touches. I think they're going to have to get the ball out of Stafford's hands. I think play action's how they're going to have any success. So I think Pacheco would probably be my favorite. Akers would be 2. Madison, I need to see it. Like, other people are sold on Madison because he was a good backup to Dalvin Cook. Can he be the number 1 guy? I think the jury's still out on that. I'm looking at the under in the Red Sox game. Candyman wasn't a game that I looked at. Wasn't one that got my attention. Arctic Tiger, appreciate you joining us. Want to say thank you to all of those who have watched the show tonight. Appreciate all the support you guys show us. For those who contributed, Drew7382, Elliot Robinson, IP Shade 45, BA, Panda with Wings. Appreciate all of you guys supporting the show. I like anime. Would you rather have Pacheco or McKinnon? The answer is I really want both because I want to play them in tandem. But the answer is Pacheco would absolutely be the preferred of the two. I think Pacheco is going to get more touches. He's going to be in the offense a greater percentage of the time. McKinnon is a nice option for those off weeks. If you have somebody, first of all, if Pacheco gets hurt, nice play. But additionally, if you have someone who's on a bye week, McKinnon is a nice player to bring off your bench, slot in there. You think he's going to get maybe a receiving touchdown. He'll probably get targeted about 5 times, get 3 catches. He could go off for maybe 4 points in fantasy, 5 points with a touchdown. That's as high as 11 points right there, 10 points. So he is a nice option off the bench, but Pacheco is certainly the guy who I would consider an RB2. On the fringes of it, maybe closer to a flex play week in, week out. If you guys do have fantasy football questions, Butt Fumble Sports is going to be answering all of those questions for the remainder of 2023. Really, we're going to be on live. We're going to give out advice through our videos. We're going to write articles. So if you are building your fantasy football lineup, do not hesitate to reach out. Ask questions. Could be on YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, Kick, Instagram, Twitter, X. Doesn't matter the platform. Butt Fumble Sports is here to help you out. If you are an expert and you just want to hear another opinion, we're here for you. If you are completely new, if you've never played fantasy before, if you're a fantasy football virgin and you just want to learn the ways of the game, we are here to help you guys out with the lingo, the players to draft. Maybe you can sneak up on some of your friends, your coworkers, your family members, and kind of shock them with how much you learn, how well you do, and all of that with Butt Fumble Sports whispering in your ear, draft this player in this round. You doing live NFL bets. Jorge, I think we will this year, actually. I think I'm going to go on TikTok live during the NFL games, at least during the 1 o'clock games, and I'll probably be live for those games. Yep. IP Shade 45, thanks for the glasses. Appreciate all of those guys being with us, all those girls and gals, all you guys, everybody out there. In your leagues, do you change touchdown points from 4 to 6? I think it's, if I'm remembering correctly, I don't think touchdowns are built the same. I think it's like quarterback, it's 4 points, running back and wide receiver at 6 points. So passing touchdowns aren't valued as much. I think I need to double check on that. I'm in multiple leagues at this point. I'm in 4 different leagues. By the way, I've been in contact with a potential sponsor for us to do survivor pools. So we could have a survivor pool in which I compete against you guys. How fun that would be. So we're trying to get that in the works. I like anime. Flex Judy or Dobbins? Really, I trust Dobbins more. I know that the Ravens are going to shift away from the running game a little bit more this season. New offensive coordinator. But I trust Dobbins a little bit more than Judy. With Judy, I need to see it to believe it. J.K. Dobbins, I have faith in him, especially because of how dynamic, how many weapons the Ravens have now. It's going to open up that defense, open up opposing defenses like never before for Lamar Jackson and J.K. Dobbins. They're not going to be packing 8 in the box anymore. Running lanes for Dobbins. I really like it. Are you doing an actual draft for real this season on here? Yeah, we're going to do a draft. Are we going to do it with our subscribers? We thought about it. Not sure we're going to do that. We're certainly going to do the survivor pool. I just felt like it was hard because it was like, how do I keep track if people got more than 14? Like, so we're still figuring that out, Elliot. Do you have to be a subscriber to do the fantasy, survivor pool? We're going to figure that out, Jorge. Those are still in the works. With all of that said, I was glad I was able to tease some of that. Appreciate you guys checking out our picks. If you guys want to see all of the picks that we like today, go to our website, buttfumblesports.com. We have put out all of our picks. We did it earlier today. We will do a DFS lineup for NFL. Oh, we'll do if you want a DFS lineup for baseball, it's on our website right now, IP Shade 45. But we will do DFS lineups for the NFL. Oh, IP Shade 45. Oh, I like that. I like that, IP Shade 45. Okay, I like the idea of that. We need to talk. We might need to talk off the air about that. Yeah, for football. No, I know what you're talking about. IP Shade 45. DM me on Instagram. I like where your head's at with that one. Maybe we can organize that one. Drew, week 1 for flex. Start Dobbins, Pittman, or Zay Flowers. I got to admit, I'm not at week 1 fantasy football yet. Still evaluating players. I want to know who's healthy. Right now, Zay Flowers would be my number 1, but I also know I want to see his health. If he has a turned ankle, my concern is he's going to get a lot of attention over the next 2 weeks. Let's see if he stays healthy. Okay, all of you guys, appreciate you guys being with us. That's going to be our show for this Wednesday. Make sure wherever you're watching, YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, Kick, make sure you hit that like button on the video. We really appreciate you guys supporting us. Of course, we hope you're a follower, a subscriber. We love you guys. We so appreciate you guys being a part of this amazing sports fan community that we talk sports with every single day. Now, make sure you guys, of course, stay healthy, stay safe. Have a great evening. I cannot wait to talk to you guys tomorrow. We're going to do it all again at 5 p.m. tomorrow. We're going to do another show at 5 p.m. tomorrow with a fantasy football mock draft at 6 p.m. So we're going to do a show at 5. We'll do a mock draft at 6 p.m. Hope you guys are with us then. Have a great night tonight. Hope you cash a ton of tickets. Dante, RJ, Zodsteam, Yoni, shout out to you guys. IP Shade 45. Drew, Elliot, I like anime. Big shout out to you. Candyman, Harley, Arctic Tiger, Jorge. Appreciate all of you guys being with us. Tacos and coffee, Panda with wings. Appreciate all the support you guys showed us today. Cannot wait to talk sports with you guys tomorrow. But until then, have a great